Finally, we've arrived at merge sort, which is probably the most efficient and effective sort method that we have at our disposal. Its big O is n log n for all cases, which means, like for our other ones, it was sometimes good and sometimes not great. This is very consistent, so you know exactly what you're getting. And this is a recursive method. So what a merge sort does is it looks at each number as its own list. So like this is a list of one, this is a list of one, this is a list of one, and so on. Then what merge sort does is it goes through and it merges two lists. So it merges 72 and 83 into one list. 40 and 90 are now in one list. 51 and 30 are in one list, and so on. But if you notice, it merges them in order. So 72 is less than 83, 40 is less than 90, but 30 is less than 51. So when it merged those two lists, it puts the smaller one in front. Then what it does is now it has four lists. So again, it merges the first two lists and merges them in order. It merges these two lists and merges them in order also. And the last step, at least for this example, is it now merges this list and this list in order. I'm going to make a new class and call it merge sort. Doesn't matter if you click anything, we're going to copy and paste again. I'm going to make a new class and call it lesson 40 merge sort. Just merge. Doesn't matter if you check public because we're going to copy and paste again. So go back to lesson 40, Control A to select everything, Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it, and let's make this lesson 40 merge. And instead of any of the other sorts, so not selection sort anymore, we're going to call this merge sort. And merge sort down here. All right, and I'm going to delete some of this. So we're not doing selection sort anymore, we're doing merge sort. This merges two lists at a time. This is not the incremental approach anymore, it is a recursive approach. And we are in our merge folder. And then I'm going to delete all of this code in here because we no longer need it. And change my title. There we go. So for this, we're going to set this up a little differently than we have before. So before, all we sent it was our array. Now we're also going to send it not just the array, but a couple of locations to look in. So we're going to call this int left and int right. So we're going to tell it which location on the left to go and which location on the right to go. So up here where we send it the array, our leftmost index is always 0. And our rightmost index is always the length of the array minus 1. So it would be a dot length minus 1. I made a mistake. Remember, it's only a down here in merge sort. Up here, it's still called the array. So it's the array dot length minus 1. So that's what we're going to send it. So our first line of code is probably going to make pretty good sense to you. So if right equals left, that means that their longest length is index 0, and just return, because that's all it's going to need. If they're equal, there's one number in the array. If there's one number in the array, it has been sorted, we're done. Otherwise, we need to come down and write a little bit more code. I think you'll actually like this code too, because it's a little bit shorter than what you're used to writing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle. So we need to find the middle ground of this, and it's a little bit easier than we gave it credit for. So int middle is going to be equal to left plus right divided by 2. That just finds us our middle number. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use some recursion. So we're going to use our merge sort, and we're going to send it A, right, because it needs the array. Then we're going to also send it left, which is still 0, and we're going to send it middle. So this is using recursion. And we're also going to come down and do another one. So we are going to say merge sort A, and we're going to send it middle +1 and right, so that it looks through both halves. Okay, then all we're going to do is we have one line of code left. We're going to merge those things. So merge is a method we're going to use called A, left, middle, right. Then it actually merges all of our things together. So if you look in your book on page 262, this is the merge method that we just initiated. This isn't the most complicated code I've ever seen, but it's a pretty stout code. So what we're going to do is, I'm not really going to talk through this because it's in your book and there's comments and things like that you can kind of go in and figure it out. So really, in the meantime, we're just going to copy and paste this. So maybe I'm not. So yeah, come down in Eclipse, underneath merge sort, and paste. And I am going to go through and format this. And the only thing weird that I really noticed is, for whatever reason, when I pasted it, this index right here got split, so there's an I up here and the NDX was down here. So definitely make sure that yours doesn't have any errors in it. It really shouldn't. There is an error right here, my line 34. It says invalid character. Yeah, this minus, it's not the minus that Java reads, so delete it and put in your own minus. I can't tell you why not. That doesn't work, but it just doesn't. So replace it, and then your code should be error-free. So then you can go ahead and run it, and it works. Super. Fun fact for you. You remember before we just kind of typed in sort and we just kind of assumed that it would work? The ones that Java developed, they'd use the merge sort every time. Every time you've been using sort before, it's been this merge sort. You've been using it all along and had no idea. The last type of sort is the radix sort, which basically uses the binary code for your digits to sort it. So this is also an n log n, big O value. In this one, you do see every so often. So it does pop up on the AP. There may be one question about it. So you may want to go through this if you have some spare time just to kind of understand. Other than that, all you guys have to do for this lesson is some questions. There's no project for lesson 40.